Welcome.
Ah,
Yeah. To another pre-recorded live stream. Obviously, you're watching this on Thanksgiving. Well, if you're watching
Happy
this, yeah,
Thanksgiving!
happy Thanksgiving and happy pre-Black Friday. Although, as we discussed this here, you're going to realize that Black Friday is really no longer a big deal like it was years ago. We were just talking about that for like half an hour before
Yeah,
we even
because
hit
you'll
record.
see with all the sales that are going on already, they're all like called early Black Friday deals, early this and that. Ooh, deals, Black Friday, or they just
Yeah.
call them Black Friday deals, even though it's not actually Black Friday yet.
Yeah. It's I mean, gone are the days where, that Friday is the only day you're getting a deal. Now
Yeah,
you can get a
yeah.
deal pretty much anytime within the month of November through December, it feels like, maybe even October. And I do want to say something because a lot of people have been going, well, it's false advertisement if there's a Black Friday deal that's the same price as a sale that happened a month and a half ago.
Right.
No, not really. I mean, yeah, you
Yeah.
may have gotten it then, but now it's back on sale for that price. So I think
Mhm.
that so many people think that, and I think that's where a lot of the excitement comes from. And it's still like kind of ingratiated into our brains, right? We're like, we're going to get the lowest price on Black Friday because everybody talks like that in their head. Uh,
Everybody. Yeah.
everybody, yeah. Even women. Who knew? But no, everybody's like, we're going to get the best deal on Black Friday because it's going to be the cheapest that it's ever going to be. And it's like, no,
Mhm.
no. I've, uh, basically what's going to be the kind of form of this hour long live stream is we're going to talk, Elon and I, a little bit about our experiences working at a Best Buy uh, on Black Friday. Not together. We didn't work at the same one. We
Right.
worked at separate ones. I also worked at Amazon for close to 4 years, like in a warehouse. So I can talk about that too, because
Ooh, 4 years. Wow.
that was yeah, kind of 2 years, went and worked somewhere else and went back like an idiot, and and worked like another 2 years, and yeah, now I'm no longer employed there. I quit. I wasn't fired,
Yay.
but yay. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that for the kind of the first portion of this, but then we're gonna highlight some deals that we found. Now, obviously, we can't highlight every deal
Yeah.
out there. These are just some things kind of like at the top, off the top of our head, that we've kind of like, oh, well, if I had this amount of money that I wanted to spend on something, or I was looking for like a receiver, might be worth considering. None of
Yeah.
this is like, I'm not gonna have any like I may have affiliate links down below eventually. I don't know. I'm not
I think
that
I might. Like once
I'm not,
this is done
yeah, I'm not
recording,
going
then
that
I might
far
throw
into it.
some in.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like money, so you know. I'm just kidding. No, I might have some for like Aperion, which we'll mention, because they're having a pretty crazy deal,
Yeah.
um, that you don't get all the time with them.
No.
But yeah, we're gonna kind of talk about our experiences and then kind of highlight some things. I found some budget stuff, some kind of mid-range stuff. Nothing really super high end, I don't think. And I am gonna cover
Yeah.
some kind of
We're not
gaming.
gonna cover like Macintosh or anything because yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't even know if they're gonna be on sale because they target a very specific audience that
yeah,
has money to blow.
yeah.
So
And Apple stuff rarely goes on sale. So see what I
oh
did there? Whoa, whoa. Didn't
well
uh didn't
let's
Bose just buy out Macintosh and Sonos
yes,
Sauber? Yeah,
they did.
wild,
I know.
wild.
I don't I mean I guess that's pretty good in terms of marketing. Just because obviously Bose has a broader range of ages that they target and more people, younger generation is probably interested in their, really nice, comfortable noise canceling headphones,
Yes.
that kind of thing. So yeah, I can see them maybe trying to reach a younger audience now and maybe try and get a younger audience more interested in audiophile stuff and that it actually does make a difference. But
Yeah.
Does it make a difference when you actually pay Macintosh prices? That can be debated.
For real. I actually worked at Bose too for 3 months before I quit. I couldn't sell somebody. This is back in the day when they had their lifestyle like 35 system.
Oh, yeah.
DVD was just like kind of hitting, man. They were hitting hard, and I worked at an outlet store, and I had to like memorize a script for the show and anybody who's like watching this has been to a Bose store and seen like the little show that they would do where they reveal the speakers. Like there's a little jewel cube speakers that they have
Yeah.
behind like a false like speaker box and stuff. I had to memorize all that and perform that show, and that was honestly nerve wracking. It was like,
Mm.
like what am I doing? A play? Like this is. Um, but yeah, I will stand behind. It's still some of the most comfortable noise canceling headphones I've ever worn. Even their I had a pair of the Bose triport standard headphones for years before like
Mhm.
they finally like something happened to them. I don't remember. I ran over them with a car or something. Yeah, that's what it does, you know. But they sounded great and they were comfortable for a really really long like sessions, and I didn't pay. I think they were 150, but I didn't pay anywhere near that. I think I got them for like 50 or $60. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, and I've always kind of been like, stay away from like the surround sound systems that they sell you, with the Acoustimess module and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I've always like their headphones are really great for travel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would love to get like some QC. I don't know what are we up to. Quiet Comfort 35,000 or something, whatever.
Yeah.
But they are expensive. They are quite they're not cheap.
Yeah.
But they
I
really do work.
imagine I imagine that's probably their biggest seller is their
Yeah.
headphone.
And they have
Um,
like sport earbuds too, which I'm like, I'm really hard on sport earbuds, and I don't really want to break a pair of $150, $300, whatever they are.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're
You're
already
you're
off
really
topic.
hard on them, like, you degrade them and,
Yeah. Yeah. So
berate
I was.
them, verbal abuse, that kinda thing.
Yeah, yeah, I yell at them. You guys
Mhm.
remember Ghostbusters 2 where they're screaming at the pink ooze?
Oh, right, right,
That's what I do to my headphones.
right.
You guys don't see it, but like my AirPods, they take the brunt of it because they sound like garbage when I'm on phone calls. Which
Speaking of Apple, if we're talking about Black Friday deals or just holiday deals in
oh
general,
yeah,
their quote unquote sale is probably the biggest laughing stock of all sales that retailers have because you never ever, I mean, granted, like Best Buy, like actual retailers, Best Buy, Target, whatever, they will actually have sales from time to time where Apple products are discounted. But when you're going to apple.com to actually purchase your Apple products, and I've already gotten emails from them because I'm on their email list saying,
yeah,
"Hey, our Black Friday deal is coming up. Get ready." But it's always the same. You buy it at full price and you get, depending on what you get, depending on how much you spend, you get a gift card to be able to spend on a future Apple purchase. It
yes.
is, ugh, I
Now can the
hate it.
gift card? Do you know if the gift card can be used on like, let's say like the App Store? Like if you want to buy like an app, could you load that gift card like an Apple gift card? Because in my experience, you can. So like if you're like, oh, I want
Yeah,
to get into video editing with Final Cut, but like, okay, say you buy this and you get $100 gift card. Like say you buy a Mac Mini or something. I'm just throwing this out there. Not that that's what's happening right now. Get $100 gift card.
Mhm.
You can load that onto your account, and then that's going to take $100 off the $300 price for Final Cut.
That's a good
Or
question. I don't know. I don't know if you could
yeah,
do that.
that might
I
be a
would
good way to.
assume yes,
Yeah,
but I don't
because I
know.
think you could just kind of use it for anything Apple. I would think, but I mean, I could be wrong. Um,
You would think.
Yeah, you would think, but I
But
don't know. It is Apple, so
but that could, because I don't think the App Store is tied to Apple.com.
mm,
So
okay.
I believe it's a gift card to use on Apple.com. So I actually don't think it can be used for that kind of stuff. But regardless, it's just
Yeah,
I hate it. It's the stupidest sale because I mean it really is just a joke. It's like,
yeah.
oh,
Oh
you
yeah,
can get a little bit of money off of future purchases because we're so cool and we're gonna let you get this gift card.
yeah,
And plus the amount that you actually your gift card amount pales in comparison to how much you're actually spending.
yeah.
You spend, $1,000, you get a $50 gift card. It's like,
Wow, yeah, yeah. It would
come
be
on.
better if it was like, oh, you get 10% off your whole cart or something.
Yeah,
But no,
a
it's not. It's never like
discount.
that. Yes,
I
no,
would
they.
rather have a discount.
Yeah, and I know that we might get comments that are like, well, like never buy into the Apple ecosystem and blah blah blah. It's like, well, yeah. I mean, I use Final Cut. I use you know all like Apple products for that
Yeah,
reason because I have so much money invested in plugins and things.
right.
But yeah, I mean, gosh, you can get. I think you can get the Mac Mini right now for the new one for $499, the base model, which is insane. Like
It really is.
you can go to
M4
Amazon.
chip and everything,
Yep, yep, 16
that
gigs of
is
RAM.
that is a bargain.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I mean, whatever your feelings for Apple, okay, like that's fine. But I think for that kind of entryway into like if you're kind of like want to be creative or you want to start a YouTube channel and you want some type of system to like some cheap entryway into it, man,
Yeah.
$500. God, if you came to me 10 years ago and said you can buy a Mac Mini that's super powerful for $500, I'd be like, you're out of your mind, Elon. Out of your mind. I'd be like, who are you? I don't even know who you are.
Oh, it's actually $5.99.
Right, but I think
Still,
there
that's
are places
still
where it's on sale right now for 550 and you get I don't know where. I saw this. I keep getting emails. It might be Newegg or it might be something. You get a $50 off
hmm,
that or you get like I don't know if it's a mail-in rebate. So technically it'd probably be like 550, but still $500. And or if you're a student or you're like a teacher or something, you can get it for $499 through the Apple Education store as
yeah.
well. So
Are
um
mail-in rebates still around much? Did
I
that
see
kinda
the only thing I've seen it with is like computer components. So like
Yeah, yep.
CPUs, motherboards, graphics cards. Like I know
Printers
Newegg. What's that?
printers?
Yeah, printers maybe. Like I don't look for printers a lot. I'm normally looking at like graphics cards and the cool parts of a computer, like power supply, I need 1,000 watts. No,
Yeah.
or like a hard drive or something. It's like, oh, buy this for $175, but you get a $50 mail-in rebate.
Mhm.
Normally it's like instant savings, but occasionally I'll come across like a little mail-in rebate thing, which I'm like, it's 2024. Do people still use the mail
Yeah,
for things?
because I feel like when I worked at Best Buy, this was around, oh gosh, 2004 to 2006, I think it was. And, yeah, like you said, it was usually having to do with computer parts. There
Mhm.
would be a mail-in rebate. So, yeah, I I just I never have you ever taken advantage of that? Because I think that was the whole point of the mail-in rebate process, is that they just hoped that the majority of people just didn't care or didn't take the time to actually send it in,
Well, that and
like
it took so long for you to receive your money
mhm,
or like whatever. It's so yeah, I would occasionally when I was younger, um, go for the mail-in rebate. But most
mhm,
of the time I would forget.
yeah,
But when I would remember it literally was like, okay, you mail it and you're going to get a check for, let's say, $20 in 6 to 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Because that was the other. I mean, it's all just marketing fluff, just like
Yeah.
anything. They're gonna take advantage of you in some way because that was the way they hooked you was they showed you the price after the mail-in rebate.
Yeah.
They're like, because that was like the big price, like, oh, it's 79.99, and then in tiny, tiny little letters, after you send in a $50 mail-in rebate. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, so what's the actual price? Oh, it's
Yeah.
even tinier letters down here.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That, it's so annoying to have to try to like deal with that. I think the only thing I remember is last November I built a computer for my brother-in-law and sister-in-law and their family. Subsequently ended up building them like two more because they're just like, we love the computer, we need another one, and then another. But yeah, they wanted multiple computers for various reasons. But
Mhm.
anyway, the initial build I think had a mail-in rebate on the motherboard because it
Ah,
was AMD, because it was an AMD board. It might have been, no, it might have been the graphics card because it was a Zotac 4070 at the time, and I'm trying to remember. It's hard to remember, and I don't even know if
yeah,
if my brother-in-law ever got the money. I made sure he got his games from when he bought his graphics card because it came with like
yeah.
free games, which,
Oh, yeah,
yeah. He was like, I think I deleted the email. I'm like, bro,
yeah.
it's free stuff. Like, why would you do that? But but yeah, I don't think I was like, yeah, I think it might have been the power supply or something, but I was like, yeah, you're just gonna have to remember that this is with the mail-in rebate. And the great
Mhm.
thing is if you use something like if you're putting together a computer system, if you use something like PC part picker, which allows you to like put in like, okay, here's the CPU I want, and they'll give you compatible motherboards. And it'll give you the price of it, whatever it is on Amazon, Newegg, Best Buy, and
Mhm.
then it will tell you if there's a mail-in rebate or not. So at the end,
Ah,
it'd be like, okay, here's the price without the mail-in rebate, minus the mail-in rebate, and here's the total price after the mail-in rebate. So I like that because I could just instantly tell
yeah.
them there's a mail-in rebate on this. So just be mindful of that. Make sure you follow the steps to get your stuff. Um, but it's
That's
still like
handy.
2023. I was like, this is stupid. Like, why are we still dealing with mail-in rebates?
Right.
Um, but yeah, yeah, I don't know. Well, so you worked to kind of segue into the like our experiences.
Yeah,
So you worked at Best Buy from 2004 to 2006, you said?
I did, yeah, yeah.
So I worked at Best Buy from 2016 to 2016. Uh, I worked there for 3 months during it was in their, kind of their seasonal hiring thing. I was
Oh,
looking for
right,
a
right.
part-time job,
Mhm,
and I was working at Starbucks at the time too, so I was working 2 jobs.
mhm.
And yeah, it was, oh man, it wasn't a pleasant experience.
No.
Um, I don't know how things were in like 10 years prior, but man, it was like working at like a I was treated like a third world citizen because I was new. And I was
Mm.
like, I'm almost 40. Like, I'm not a
Right.
kid, right? Like, don't talk to me
Yeah.
like like some of the, like one of the managers would talk to me like I was a child. And I was just like, I almost got fired on Black Friday because I almost went off on him. But yeah, it was like, I was in the computer. They put me in the computer section
Yeah.
because I do know about computers. But then they're like, okay, on Black Friday they had like, I don't know how it was when you worked there, but they had like each like area had like sections that they would assign someone,
Mhm.
right? So like, obviously you have like a Microsoft rep and whatever, and they would kind of, I don't know if they were like paid by Best Buy or through Microsoft or whatever. Then they would have people that would be like, okay, this software, and then people that would be this aisle. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they're like, Brad, you're gonna be on printers for Black Friday. I'm gonna be on printers.
Your favorite.
My favorite. I mean, I know something about printers, but I'm like, what about monitors? Like, I know more about
Yeah,
monitors. But
right.
no, and so that they were like, we want each person to sell this amount of stuff, and it's like I kind of already knew like after this thing, I was like, I'm probably just gonna quit. I was like, I don't want to
Yeah,
do this anymore.
yeah.
Um, and they wanted us to be like, I had to be there at like 4:30 in the morning, something like crazy like that.
Yeah, exactly, right. 'Cause, you like, doors open at 6 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? Okay, like,
Yeah.
but but yeah, I was just, it wasn't a good experience. I mean, I like they didn't really tell me their training was laughable
Yeah,
at best. Um, and I didn't know how to work the systems well because they never really told me how to do it, like, or taught me how to
yeah,
do it. And I had previous retail experience, so I'm like I could figure things out, but like their system for like getting things out of the back, like it just all felt very archaic and kind of like complicated in a way where it like ruined any chance that I would want to like stay working there. It was like kind of like, oh, you don't know? Oh, you're not part of our treehouse or our clubhouse or whatever. It's like, okay, well, whatever. Like I remember the manager telling me like you shouldn't even be wearing a blue shirt. You know, like we had training in like regular shirts, and then like once we
Oh,
graduated, it was a total like corporate, bullshit, whatever.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like they gave you your blue shirt with a little Best Buy tag on it, and like
Mhm.
I asked the manager a question, the manager of the department, and he was like, "You should know this. You shouldn't even be wearing a blue shirt." And I'm like, that's when I almost went off on him. This guy was so cocky. I just, oh yeah, I should have.
Yeah.
I should have just, um, I'm ruminating now. That's what it's called. Where you think about, I should have said this. I should have did that. Don't do that to yourself. But yeah, no, I think I walked in that Saturday or Sunday and spoke to somebody else, and it was a different manager, and said, "Hey, like I gotta quit." So I did.
Yeah.
I was like, "Screw that." But yeah, it was I tried to get into home theater when I was like interviewed and everything, and they're like, "Well, not really, sure you're a good fit for that." Okay, only been
That's
in that hobby for 20 years at that point, but sure, printers. I'll sell printers, I guess. But yeah, that was my experience really. But the thing was is the customers that would come in, you get anybody that's worked retail, you get all shapes and sizes and knowledge bases and everything, right? So
Mhm.
people had no idea, no freaking clue about printers and Wi-Fi and different types of printers for this type of thing. Oh, I want a laser printer because I read this, and it's like, yeah, even in 2016 when I worked there, people still people still don't know how to use Google and look things up.
Yeah.
Like you could have just looked this up before you came in, but like
Buddy.
yeah, this is a laser black and white printer and you're wanting to print out color photos. This is not the printer for you. Um, so
But
yeah,
I heard.
I read online. But no, so yeah, but having the patience for that, which I do, that wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
It was honestly dealing with the management. All the
Mhm.
people like that were kind of like at my level, or people that maybe worked there for a while. There's a few cool people,
Sure.
but like most of them were very, I don't know. I got this feeling like there's almost like this kind of elitist attitude
Oh,
with a lot
yeah,
of
for
people
sure.
that work there, that, and oh my, like the people that worked Geek Squad thought they were like some like upper echelon. And I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
it goes like, you're just like, you're maybe just slightly above a genius, an Apple genius at the Genius Bar, right? Like you're nothing, like this isn't the IT crowd. You don't work in an IT
Uh-huh.
firm. You work at Best Buy, and you have to wear a black tie and a white shirt. Come on,
Mhm.
But yeah, and yeah, I remember I sold a computer. It wasn't Black Friday; it was prior to that, and then the
Mhm.
person returned it because they wanted something. They ended up wanting to go with a Mac, and I got pulled aside by my manager and saying that that was on me
What?
because I didn't fully list it. I was like, they didn't mention anything about a Mac. They wanted to game on it. They said they wanted a gaming PC, that they want to play this game and that game.
Yeah.
So what are Macs not known for? And he's like, well, you still should have vetted that better. And I was like, like, screw you, dude. Like, I
Yeah,
don't,
dude.
whatever. Um, it's just kind of like, again, there's something kind of demeaning about, getting treated like you're a child when you're almost 40 years old. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think now I would probably react differently to that and like not just kind of like, dude, whatever, man. Like, I know you're doing your job, but like, don't talk to me like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, come on, like, and again, it was a part-time job, so it wasn't like I was trying to make this my full-time thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a yeah. That kind of made me not want to shop at Best Buy
Yeah.
anymore after working there, as you can imagine. Um, yeah. What was
Seeing
your
how the
experience
sausage
like?
is made.
Yeah, yeah, like all the enemies that I made. No, well, just seeing how like the mentality and I mean, and I'm not saying like every Best Buy store is the same. Um, they might be to a certain degree, but like this one in particular, I never wanted to go back to because I knew if I saw that manager that said that I was just like I had some words for him that I
Yeah.
wanted. I wouldn't have said anything, but it's kind of like how can you treat people like that? Like
Right.
you're like God's gift to freaking Best Buy, department managers or whatever. Like seriously, come on, dude.
I know.
You're not cool. You're not whatever you think you are. You're just being a jerk to people that are just trying to do a good job.
Yeah.
You know, he honestly shouldn't have been a manager. Really, he should have not been managing people because I think he was more about how it looked
Oh,
than
yeah, for
than
sure.
actually like trying to help people or whatever. But that was my Best Buy Black Friday experience.
Yeah.
What about yours? Like, what was 10
Well,
years
yeah,
prior?
I think I'm pretty sure I dealt with since I was there from 2004 to 2006, I'm pretty sure all 3 of those years I spent or I witnessed a Black Friday event. So that yeah, it was probably 3 Black Fridays that I took part in at Best Buy, and I was a cashier of all things. So I wasn't in any particular department. I was at the cash register, and it was a madhouse. Just, I mean, like the kind of videos you see. I didn't, I don't remember any like actual like physical fights or anything, but there were definitely some arguments, some altercations that happened from time to time
Yeah,
with a particular. Usually, it was TVs. I don't know what it is about people and getting
brings out the worst in
TVs.
people.
But even then, like, if I remember, yeah, like flat screen TVs was like, it was new. So we're dealing with like LCD TVs, plasma TVs, nothing like the TVs we have now. So, but just because, flat screen instead of, your 3 by 4 almost square TVs were
Yeah,
pretty much phased out by then.
no
Everybody
TVs that
wanted
weighed like
to.
300 or 400 pounds. Trying to,
Right, right. So that, everybody wanted to get a good deal so they could upgrade finally to a widescreen TV. And yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. We obviously had an 8-hour shift, and in the middle of that shift, you have your lunch break. But honestly, from the start of my shift to my lunch break, just nonstop, 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 having people come through my line. I think we had a total, because obviously we wanted to be ready for Black Friday, so we pretty much employed everybody there pretty much at the same time.
Yeah.
We had a few shifts throughout the day, but yeah, I was there every year at the very start in the morning shift. So we had to get there early. We went through some sort of stupid bullshit pep talk, you know, corporate pep talk kind of thing. Um, and and yeah, it was just, having to deal with mail-in rebates was always fun during Black Friday because it just made
People didn't
the
read the fine print.
transaction, yeah, it made the
Yeah.
transaction that much longer. Having to tell them about it, having because then it prints it out and it's like an extra long receipt because of it, and you got like 3 or 4 receipts. Um, but at the same time, the silver lining to having to deal with that is that it went by so fast. I mean, 8
Oh yeah.
hours just in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Um, you barely have time to breathe, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, cool, somebody's here to take over my shift." Like,
Yeah.
"Peace. I hate you all."
Yeah.
You know, consumerism can suck my dick.
For
So
real.
but, uh but it was just, oh, yeah. But yeah, luckily I don't have any like horror stories about, people like getting in fights with me or fights with other people or
Yeah.
whatever. It was just mayhem, really. It was just
Yeah.
super loud because everybody's talking and chattering, and there's so many people. You can bear like as I'm going on lunch break, I have to like weave in and out of people and try not to bump into people, because it's just wall to wall full of people, and every aisle is full of people. So it was cool. It was a good experience, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I was in my 20s, so
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever deal with that, right now. No way.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't
Yeah.
tolerate it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've always said like I think that everyone should work one retail job in their life just for
Yeah.
even if it's for 3 months so you get kind of how people are and how people treat you.
Mhm.
So it kind of like I've never been one to treat any employee or something really poorly unless they were just a total like ass or dick to me.
Yeah.
Um, because it's kind of like, okay, well, I don't want to shop here now anyway, so whatever. But you kind of get like, it's kind of like, working food service. You get an idea of how people treat you as a food service worker, right? And
Mhm.
that means that you would never treat someone that way that you've been treated. And the same with like retail, I would never go into a store and yell at someone
Yeah.
for ringing something up wrong or whatever. But people do that all the time, and they just don't have that experience, I think, or maybe just don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
they're so self-involved or whatnot. But yeah, I think just kind of seeing how it is from the other side can be very eye-opening, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
True.
so yeah, thank you. To all if anybody is watching this that works in food service or retail, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, no
Because it's
kidding.
it's freaking hard, man. Like, even working at Amazon, the great thing about that is you're not dealing with customers directly.
True. Yeah, yeah.
Although the first year, because I opened a facility in like when I lived, um, it was in Ruskin, and it was 2014. I was like one of I was a third group that was brought in to open this facility, and I was in
Yeah.
it was a section called like pack singles where it's like just a single item and like you box it up. Probably giving away trade secrets here. No, I don't think so. But that was kind of a different experience because I had never experienced like a Black Friday like event in a warehouse. And so it's
Mhm.
kind of like all hands on deck, right? As you'd imagine.
Yeah.
There's like what they call peak season, which is like from um like end of November through December.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's kind of like you're gonna have overtime every day or every week. You're gonna have overtime every day. So like normally it was a 40-hour work week, so it was 4 days, 10-hour shifts.
Mm.
Well, it was a 55-hour work week, so 5 days, 11-hour shifts. Sometimes 12-hour
Wow.
shifts if they were just, whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, but man, the checks were really, really nice. I
I'm
was like,
sure.
I did have an experience though. The first year I was there, I had some woman as I was walking into the facility stop me in her car and say, "Where do I go in to shop?"
Huh?
And she had saw on the news or something that was an Amazon. I was like, no, you don't like. There's no shopping done here.
Yeah.
You have to do it online. Well, this news, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, lady. Like, I work here. You can't just walk in and go shopping.
Right.
It's only on Amazon.com. We ship things out from here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first Black Friday was like first like peak season. Oh man, like it was. I was in like I would say the best shape I've ever been in my life. I was like 170 pounds.
Mhm.
I was skinny. Like I was working out and running a lot, and that's what I'm trying to get back to. But yeah, it was tiring even for me. I mean, you're on your feet 11
Yeah.
hours a day. I was in an area where like basically we put they called it slam, and it's basically where like it goes down a conveyor belt, gets weighed, it reads like the barcode on the side of the box or whatever, and then it slams the sticker down, like the shipping label down.
Mm.
But there would be like kickouts, like someone orders a cell phone case, and for whatever reason, the person just packed like 10 because like that's how they would come. They wouldn't break them apart sometimes, and
Mhm.
but yeah, that was just like it was basically balls to the wall every single day for like basically a month and a half.
Wow.
And yeah, the checks were nice. But
Yeah.
let me tell you, getting 2 days off a week, working 55 hours, you basically slept both those 2 days.
Oh,
Like, it
yeah,
was
for
it was
sure.
so draining.
Yeah.
And there were things I loved about that job, things I hated about the job, but, like, for the most part, I think the first year I worked there was kinda like I call it the golden year because it was a new facility, they were still trying different things and figuring stuff out, like, it was such a, like, different vibe working there for the first 2 years, then leaving and coming back because it's like I was in a different department when I came back, and it was like things had changed, and it like I had still knew things from
Mhm.
before, but, like, nobody, like I don't know, being, like, the original crew or something, like, people just kinda looked at you a little differently, you're like, "Wow, that guy knows more," or something, and I didn't really. I just been
Yeah.
there for longer. But it was just kind of a different vibe. But I do remember the first like when I came back uh during the Black Friday. I started Black Friday week and they
Mhm.
put me in gift wrap. So like when you order on Amazon, like you can, have it gift wrapped.
Yeah.
And it was my first week and it was all like gift wrapped for like single packages. Like it wasn't multiple packages. And I like had been working there, like packing stuff for like years before that. So I remembered everything.
Yeah.
And I was their fastest packer. And it was literally the easiest peak season I've ever worked because they literally just pulled me off of that to train other people on how to pack faster, how
Oh,
to gift wrap
nice.
faster. So like I was just like, this is perfect. Like this is great. Yeah, what do you need? What do you need?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was like you're like when you're packing stuff, you have like a rate per hour that you're trying to get to, or you're trying to
Yeah.
at least pack that amount, if not a little more. And then you have like the really like terrible people that would just overdo it and make it worse for everyone else because then they'd see, oh, this person's packing this amount of packages. Why can't everybody else do this? Well,
Mhm.
that person is 21 years old. You
Mhm.
have a 70-year-old person over here packing that's never going to achieve what they're doing
Yeah.
just based on even if that 71-year-old person is in shape or that 70-year-old person's it's like really great shape, at hour 10, you're not going to be packing the same. Like, it's just like, you naturally decline as the day goes on. So yeah, that was the first peak experience was crazy. And then when I went back, it was like the easiest. Like, I just kind of showed up and I was like, okay, I don't really have to. The great thing about that job is like, I didn't really have to think. Right. But that kind of got to me a little bit. I just put earplugs in because it was loud. Just put earplugs in and then, kind of zone out for however long before, okay, it's first break. Okay. Then it's lunch and then it's, last break or whatever. But yeah, it was, like, yeah, my feet were sore, but I was like, oh, okay, I've done this before, whatever. I was also really out of shape, worse off than I am now. But it was an experience. The worst part of it all was the parking lot, trying to find a parking space in the warehouse parking lot. Like, because they had, I think they employed close to 5,000 or 6,000 people during peak.
Whoa.
And this is a big warehouse. I think it was like 1.4 mile, like, square miles or something like that. Like, it was huge. And on each side they had like where like all the orders would come in, they would get picked and they would like go down a conveyor to somewhere else to get packed and all that stuff. This is all stuff that you can see online. I'm not like giving anything away here, but there was like multiple stories to that. So like you could, you had like basically like 4 floors that you would, they had like robots bringing things to pickers and stuff. But yeah, that was rough. The second year, because they had moved me around a lot and I was in a different department that I didn't really want to be in. And that's what kind of like I left before peak because I was like, yeah, all right, yeah. You guys obviously the reason I went back is they have an IT department I was trying to get into. I could never even get an interview. So I just finally said, screw it. Yeah. So then I started doing YouTube more, and
yay,
here we are. Freelance stuff. But yeah. So yeah, that was I mean, if you want a crazy experience, work at an Amazon on Black Friday, and not one of their like distro centers where they're, like where they're loading these like little trucks that you see around your neighborhood. You work in the actual like the big warehouse. Like that's where the fun is.
Yeah.
That's where you see people like peeing in bottles and stuff. I never did. I never saw that working there. Like, I've heard stories about that, but I don't know if it was just the facility I work. I never got talked to about my rate or anything. Like, I could go to the bathroom whenever I wanted. Although this was pre-COVID, so I know COVID changed things a lot.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, it was an experience that ups and downs. I met my wife at Amazon, so I have Jeff Bezos to thank for that. So thank you, Uncle Jeff. I met him. He came around, and I asked him if he could adopt me because we're both bald, and he just looked at me and said, "You're fired." No, I didn't talk to him at all. No, he was there and he was like going around, and I avoided him. I didn't really want to meet him.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you imagine, like I just have zero. I don't know. I had zero interest. I'm like, yeah. I saw this thing recently where it was like him walking through a warehouse and it was tracking how much he was making per second versus how much like the people around him were making per second. And he was up in the like, okay, like he starts out here and he's like, okay, after like 10 seconds, he's made like, I don't know how much it was. Let's say $20,000. And this person over here who's busting their ass has made like a quarter, or something like that. And you're like, wow. But yeah, my niece, she thought that I could just take things. She was like,
well, you were.
I would like a box of LOL pets. She was like super young at this time, so she was like, I would like a box of LOL pets or whatever. And I'm like, or LOL dolls. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it was like, no, it's not. I can't just do that. She's like, you work at Amazon? Yeah, it was like this thing. That yeah, I was like, it's not glamorous whatsoever. You go home smelling
No.
like butt and covered in like corrugate and
Right.
dust and all that stuff, and you're exhausted. But yeah, so that was my experience.
Woo. Amazon.
I know.
I
So
will
yeah,
say, but before we get into the deals that we want to go over,
deals.
the one thing I would implore anybody who is at a retail space this upcoming holiday season to avoid this. One of the you wouldn't think it, but one of the most rude experiences I had as a cashier. This kid was probably, I don't know, 17, 18 years old, and he came through my line and he didn't say a word, but he was whistling the entire time. So, and at the time, we also had, we had a few things that we had to try and upsell. Like
The card,
there were
credit
these
card,
like,
and then
yeah,
or
and
yeah,
there was this like a subscription to Entertainment Weekly magazine and like a couple other magazines or whatever. When magazines were a thing back
yeah.
in 2004 and 2006. Um, so I'm just going through my spiel. Did you find everything you needed? Did you want to get a subscription to Entertainment Weekly? Like just nonstop whistling. And I'm like, huh, I would rather have you yell at me
Yeah,
and say, stop badgering me with these upsells than just dismissing the entire conversation and waving your hand at me and whistling. So it was the most, I don't know, it was the most bizarre thing. I had
yeah,
never dealt with it before and I had never dealt with it after. And it was so unique, but at the same time, I wanted to choke him out
yeah.
because it was so rude. Just not even basically not even acknowledging my existence, just like giving me money and having a transaction and then going away. So
Oh man,
please
that
don't do that.
yeah. Yeah, that is a that would very yeah. That or like having a conversation on the phone and just not paying attention to what you're doing whatsoever
Yeah,
and holding up
got a
the
lot of
line for the people
those.
behind you. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just kind of like disrespectful. Please don't
yeah,
do that.
right.
Um, just try to be nice to other people, you know?
Yeah,
It's how much does it cost to be nice? $0.
yeah. I mean,
So
like you were saying, like you don't realize how tough a job is until you're behind the desk.
yeah, yeah,
So like, yeah, I respect retail workers. I understand it. I know how hard it is. That's why I can never be angry or upset with a retail worker because I just
yeah.
understand. And most retail facilities hire kids because
Yep,
they got
yep.
nothing better to do. They haven't started their career yet. They're probably going to college or even in high school, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, that's usually the type of clientele and employees you're going to be dealing with is high school and college age kids. Um, but also like that's why I can never be angry or upset or make a negative comment to a YouTuber because I understand how hard it is and the grind
Yeah.
and that it just sometimes gets to you. So I can never make a negative comment. If it's something that I just don't like or I just can't get behind, I just don't comment. I don't comment at
Right,
all.
right.
Uh, and then if it's something I really do like and I appreciate, and it's like, oh man, I came here because I needed a question answered. You explained it perfectly. You didn't dilly dally, and boom, I came and
Yeah,
went. Thank you. I I I always like that video and I comment saying, "Thank you for this. You're amazing." I don't
yeah.
subscribe all the time, but if it's
I don't comment all the
something,
time.
yeah.
Thumbs up, that's what it gets.
Yeah.
But
So
honestly, some of the best
just be nice.
conversations yeah, some of the best conversations that I've had are with people that because I always try to be very real, even like working a retail job where I have to be like, hey, someone asks me how I'm doing, I could be having a shitty day, but I'm like, hey, I'm doing good, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You learn to fake it pretty well,
Right.
but when you kind of get like, I had this because I worked at Starbucks for a couple years, and Starbucks is definitely known for having very specific types of customers that are just very demanding, um, and very like they can be kind of just they can be well, honestly they can be dicks,
Oh,
like
for sure.
every place has that, but like you're getting people that haven't had their morning caffeine yet.
Yeah.
I understand that, but uh I would always try to kind of find those people and talk to them,
Mhm.
and kind of just not about what's going on or whatever, but just have a conversation with them as a person, instead of just like, this is a transaction, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is,
Yeah.
you're paying for coffee, I'm making the coffee, okay. But just kind of talk to them a little bit, and what I noticed is most of the time, not everybody's gonna open up or whatever, but a
Mhm.
lot of people that would be notorious for being like ultra demanding or whatever,
Mhm.
suddenly, like with me, they were like completely different than they were with other people, because I
Yeah.
I just had that moment where I was like, I'm talking to them because they're a person, not because like I'm behind the counter making their drink and working like yeah, it's my job to make them a drink, but also like it's my job to be a human being,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and there was a few really memorable people that like I still remember. There was this one lady that she terrified me because her drink was so difficult. Um, she it was like, and I remember it was a extra dry cappuccino.
Whoa.
And if you don't know what an extra dry cappuccino is, it's like handing someone an empty cup. It's like foam. There's like no milk. It's just all foam and espresso.
Mm. Oh, wow.
And it took me a while to get it down, but like I was like always like, I'm gonna try my hardest to do this. And I would always
Yeah.
have a conversation with her. And you know what? People were like, yeah, she's a total, you know what? And I'm like,
Mhm.
no, I don't think so. Like, cause I remember I was sitting in the Starbucks with my wife on one of my days off, and she came in and she's like, could you please go make my drink? Like, I'm sitting in like, having coffee with my wife or whatever, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Could you please go make my drink? Because nobody else knows how to make it other than you." And there's another lady named Janet, and
Yeah.
she's like, "You're the only two I trust." But it's like just having that conversation with people, and
Yeah.
just because like you never know what someone's going through either.
Yeah.
You never know why someone's working at a job, or why someone comes in and they're like mad, and there's some people you just cannot get to, but
Oh, for
sometimes
sure.
just saying, hey man, how you doing? Like, you see any movies lately, or blah blah blah, just having a conversation, be like, oh, you know what? It might go the next day way better because that person's like, you know what? I couldn't wait to come here and I just chat with you for a few minutes while you make my coffee.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's just cool when you can make someone else's day just a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah,
To
for
me,
sure.
there's kind of no greater feeling, which, like you, is why I can't leave a really bad comment on somebody's video or something. I may not
Same.
like it, and if I don't like it, I just won't say anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Like,
if I see like
moving
a
on.
really glaring audio issue or something, I'll try to provide a little constructive criticism if I feel like they're gonna maybe hear it. But
Mhm.
most of the time, I don't. Now, if they ask me directly, like if Elon, you said, hey, what did you think of this video? We're friends. I would tell you honestly, I'm like, I think it's great, but I think, this XYZ, maybe there was that part where like it didn't really make sense, maybe tighten it up, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
par for the course, right? Like you should be able to talk about stuff like that. But anywho, man, that went off on a tangent, but I don't care. Be nice to people. That's what it's all about,
Yeah.
especially during the holiday season.
Oh,
Well,
especially.
everything else going on in the world right now with
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even need to talk about that. But yeah,
Everything.
every everything everything is happening,
All at once.
all at once. Yeah, everything everywhere all at once. Go see that movie. No, it's not at the theater. Just so you can buy it. But yeah, we're just gonna highlight some deals really quick, kind of wrap things up here. Do you want to go first, Eli, or do you want to kind of go back and forth, or should we just kind of? You want to do this? We didn't talk about this much before.
I've got this pulled up. Might as well just
Oh,
head into this. This is just Amazon. As you can see up here in this little tag, it says Black Friday. Because I guess Amazon has this little section cordoned off, I guess you could say, which is nice. But yeah, looking at actual like quote unquote Black Friday deals, they've got this Yamaha RX A2A 7.2 receiver for $617. Normally $1,000.
whoa,
So
that's a good deal.
that's a good deal. Let's look at some of these other red tagged highlighted ones. Denon AVR S760H, another 7.2 channel AVR, 75 watts per channel with 2 channels driven, of course. But 8K HDMI 2.1, that's pretty cool. Normally $600, but it is $349. So almost 50% off.
Almost.
Denon AVR S970H for $500, normally $800. Let's see. Another 970H, Yamaha A2A, Pile Bluetooth home theater amplifier stereo receiver for $105, normally $130. Oh, we don't really need to pay attention to those actually.
Yeah, a lot of the off-brand.
Yeah, I could have sworn the Denon. Oh, actually, yeah, the Denon is on Crutchfield. The Denon 3800H.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have that
wow.
on my list as
Yeah,
well.
looks like a lot of these pile ones is what it's highlighting now as Black Friday deals. The Wim amp.
Oh,
Normally $300. It's $239. Not the Wim amp Pro, mind you, just FYI. But that's 50 watts per channel, so it's pretty decent. It's got a decent amount of power. The only downside is that it doesn't have pre-outs, so you have to use the amps inside the Wim amp if you want to power some passive speakers. So that was my big thing with it when I reviewed the Wim amp. It's like, oh, I wish I had that option. I wish I could use the amps inside if I really needed to, but I wish I could use something more powerful than 50 watts per channel if I wanted to do that, or if I had particular speakers that needed more power. But you just can't do that with the Wim amp for some strange reason. Okay. I guess that's it for Amazon. Let's see what other people have.
Go to hell, Amazon. I'm just kidding.
So yeah, just the lower end 7.2 channel AVRs are on Amazon.
So I'll share my stuff now, I guess. So I got a bunch of different tabs. So I want to highlight Aperian's sale real quick. It's now hold on, it's coming back around. It's coming back around. Come on.
Coming back around.
There's another I just saw this. I'm like, this is amazing. Whoever put this thing together.
Yeah.
Let me refresh this page just so you can see. So they are currently doing a 20, like up to 25% off. So basically, the more you spend, the more you save.
Mm-hmm.
This, I've been talking about the Theatric speakers. Elon, you've had the Veris speakers, and you're getting some Theatric speakers now.
They just arrived today.
Oh, hell yeah. But in my last video, I said, hey, if you use my code HTG10 at checkout, you get 10% off your whole order, which if you're going to spend under $1,000, definitely use that because, that's 10% off versus 5%. But if you're thinking about spending a ton of money, or you want like a full system, but you're like, oh, I don't want to spend 10 grand. I've I've like looked at this. So basically my entire Aperion audio system that I have in my theater currently, I just went and added everything to the cart. So that's
Yeah.
4 of the Clearest C6 Cs,
Mhm.
angled in ceiling speakers, 7 of the 3-foot RCA interconnects. Can't talk right now. The Energy 7
Mhm.
amp. As you can see, you're getting the discount. So basically 25% off of all this stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so like that's normally 175 to 131. Energy 7, which is normally $2,200, you're getting it for under $1,700 for a 7-channel high power amplifier. That's kind of crazy to
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
The Theatrics speakers, so like 4 of these are my surrounds. Um, you're saving a grand, over $1,100 about. And then 3 of these, actually, if we go to checkout here, you could see. So yeah, if you look at the total price, it is not cheap, right? But if you're looking at this anyway, this like you're saving almost $3,000 on this
Yeah.
full thing here. Um, Definitely worth checking out if you're thinking about biting the bullet. You could see the total discount on each one here.
Mhm.
It's just crazy to me that you know you don't appearing. They're kind of like a smaller company. They're kind of a mom and pop place, so they're a direct seller. You're not going to walk into Best Buy and buy these. But they
Yeah.
don't typically have big kind of sales like this. They may have like Labor Day sales and 4th of July sales and things like that.
Right.
However, I don't know if I've seen 25% off like this from them. So definitely, if you're thinking about
Oh.
getting some of the Theatrics speakers, or checking out one of their amps or something, I love the Clearest 6Cs. I call them 6Cs. That's what they used to be called. Um, they're angled in ceiling speakers. They are awesome for Dolby Atmos and DTSX. I've had those for a couple years now. Um, yeah, basically they're $169 each. You're basically getting a free one if you were to buy them this way.
Yeah.
Pretty
Right.
crazy.
And
Um,
you've got 3 T65s,
yeah,
is that
three
right, for your front
T65.
soundstage?
So fronts.
What's
Oh, I
the
didn't add this.
normal what's the normal
Um,
price on the 3 T65s?
they are. Hold on. I think they are 11.99. So
Or
they are 11.
the total for the 3, oh, I see it,
Yeah.
3,597.
Yep.
So right there, you could upgrade your front soundstage, your front left, center, and right, and that's already over 3 grand. So then
Yeah.
that already gives you that 25% off. So
Yep.
you're only spending
You're already there. Yeah.
2,697.
Yep. So then if you wanted, like, I didn't add the speaker stands, but I can do that right now. So they sent me 2 of these, which are amazing speaker stands, but they are $350. So they're
Wow.
not super cheap, but instead of $700, you're basically you're paying $523.50.
Yeah,
So
that's nice.
and it'll give you this right here. So basically you're paying $261, almost $100 off.
Yeah.
Which these are, I say this in the video, the unboxing and review video that I have for these that I'm working on right now, that these speaker stands are more competition for what you would get from like maybe Sonos Fob or Focal speaker stands, which are 2-3 grand a pair for speaker stands. um, and you're getting these for $350. And I think Aperion
Yeah.
knows that. They have other options too if you didn't want to spend that amount of money, on like some Santa stuff or whatever. But I
Right.
mean, they're really, they're really, really slick looking. I really, really like how they look. So yeah, that's Aperion. If you want to go for the more budget friendly, I don't think you can go wrong with Mono Price's entry level speakers. Now, I've not personally heard their Audition series, their Monolith by Mono Price Audition series. However, for the price, I'd be willing to like kind of roll the dice on these. I have heard um, others say these are an excellent value. They are
Mhm.
entry level pricing. They're even lower right now than they normally are. So like the T5 tower speaker is normally $250, and it's $110 or $111 essentially each right now for a freaking tower speaker, guys. Like,
Yeah.
that's insane. Like,
With 3 woofers. Look at that.
three
And then
woofers.
what's that? Mid-range on top with a tweeter
I think
in a
so. I probably should have
concentric
looked at this
design.
more. So it has
But
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, as you're looking that up, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure, just so the audience knows, I'm pretty sure these are the ones that Techno Dad has in his studio currently, because he and Joe and Tell have figured out that they work really well when you add some, EQ to them. Like
Mm,
they just kind of, some speakers have certain colorization to them where they just maybe they sound a little weird if you apply
yeah.
too much EQ to them. But for whatever reason, the monoprice monolith speakers like welcome any kind of
EQ, yeah.
EQing adjustments to them, and they work very well doing it.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. It has two 5 1/4 inch woofers and then one 5 1/4 inch mid range, along
Ah,
with a 20 mm silk dome tweeter. So it is a silk dome, so like a soft dome,
yeah.
which I prefer over like a horn loaded. Although the AMT style ribbon tweeters I'd never heard before on the Aperion, I'm
Mhm.
like hooked on those. Like they sound so clear
Yeah.
and and kind of, I don't want to say crispy, but they're very vibrant without being fatiguing.
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of like there's a word I can't think of right now. There's just like an airiness to the sound. It's something that it's kind of, you got to hear it.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, just going down the list here, if you're on a budget and want to put together a system, I think looking at these is definitely the way to go. I mean, you can go with the T4s, which I think are slightly smaller. Let's see. They have the other ones had 5 1/4 inch drivers. Where are you? Yeah, so these are 4. So yeah, 4, like in the
Yeah.
name T4. Hey, so 4 inch main woofers and 4 inch mid woofers. Um, so I would probably say, you know what, for the $11, go with the T5, right? Like,
I know, right? That's not much of a difference at all.
so here's something interesting. So like the C4 center channel is on sale for 85, which is a great price. But I noticed, these have 4 inch woofers. However, they're $85 right now, or that one's $85.
Mhm.
The T or the C5, which I'm thinking should have
Oh,
5 inch woofers. Yeah, two 5 1/4 inch
yeah.
woofers is $10 cheaper. So I mean, if you could fit that, look at the dimensions of it. If you could fit
Yeah.
that, go with that one, because when you have more kind of surface area for voices and vocals, the better. A 5 1/4 inch driver should produce more. Dang it, hit the microphone again. Should produce more low frequency than a uh, um, a 4 inch driver.
Mhm.
You know, you might be able to cross them over a little lower, and that way you're not having to, like, basically you want voices to sound full without routing things to the subwoofer,
Yeah.
if you can help it. So definitely, look at that. They also have their Encore series. But yeah, I mean, even like their bookshelf series, like the B4s are 57.99 right now. That's
Dang.
like $116 for a pair. Come on, like that's insane. You can get the B5s for, you know, $86. So for surrounds, if you're on a budget, nothing wrong with going
Yeah.
with a 4 inch woofer. That's what I like. That's what I've used for years. Like, yeah, I mean,
And I mean, honestly, if you really wanna save a lot of money, there's no shame in having, like, 7 bookshelf speakers surrounding you.
yeah, yeah. Maybe go
It's
with the,
then they're all timbre matched.
yep, yep, yeah, definitely. Like, so, I mean, even their subs, like, I don't know how well their subs perform. I don't think there's any subs here. But I do think so. If we look at their, did I have that? No, that's
I
the
know they have
amps.
them.
Where are they? Audio Speak
There they
of
are. Monolith by Monoprice, 13-inch THX certified ultra.
so these are probably, if you're on a budget, something like, I mean, look at this, a 15-inch woofer. Again, I'm not sure how these perform. Look at the user reviews, do your own research if you're gonna look into this. But getting a 15-inch subwoofer, I believe this looks like sealed sub.
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, for under $250. What's it
Yeah.
normally? With a 600 watt RMS, so it's normally 300. So you save a
Normally
little bit.
300. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. You can go up, you know, I know they're mono, like these guys are very, very, they've reviewed very well. I mean, look, this
Mhm.
is normally $1,200 and it's on
Oh
sale for
my gosh.
510 right now. So,
Whoa.
um, this is kind of putting it in line with, what was like a PB 2000 Pro, something like that.
Yeah.
A 12-inch
Right.
woofer. Yeah.
Mhm.
So like for under $550, I mean, hell, get two. Like if you got two of these, I mean, these would be amazing. You
Yeah.
know, I think they have bigger ones as well. I know, I'm a terrible person. uh, I mean, I've heard these like the M215s at Michael's Youth Man's. These are
Mhm.
insane. These sound crazy. They're normally 2,500 and they're on sale for 1,664 right now.
You know what's also $500? Like currently on sale for $500 is the Sony SW5 wireless subwoofer. I
Oh
mean,
wow,
granted it's wireless, but like that's like a 7-inch. It's like a
yeah,
7-inch woofer. And like so that 12-inch woofer, that 12-inch monolith one is only like $10 more. Come on.
yeah. I mean, heck, look at this. Look at the little 8-inch. I don't think it's in stock right now, but it's $87 for a little.
Whoa.
I would almost be willing to bet you get more output from this than the Sony. I'm just kidding.
Probably.
I have no idea. I mean,
I
mono
mean,
prices.
I wouldn't put it past
Yeah, I
monolith.
mean, mono price has always been a very good performer for the amount of money that you spend. Their
Mhm.
monolith subwoofers, I've always wanted to check them out. I need to reach out to them and see, because like yeah, they're more budget oriented. I mean, look at this 1600 and or 1600 inch 16-inch 2000 watt powered subwoofer, normally
Yeah.
2500, 1569. I mean, come
Wow.
on, like that's,
4
yeah,
port. Wow.
yep, yep. So yeah, so if you're, depending on what your budget is, I mean, you kind of got your pick from everything. Again, I've not heard these myself. Do your own research, look at reviews, see what people
Yeah.
are saying about them before you bite the bullet. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of Monoprice for their cables, but I've heard great things about their speakers and the amount of performance you get for the dollar that you spend. So crazy that we're at that point. But if you're also on the market for amplifiers, they have a bunch of different amplifiers on sale, depending on like what you need. They're all typically, I think the cheaper ones are like 90 watts a channel. But if you're looking at offloading, your speaker, like your main speakers or whatever from your receiver, this would be a kind of inexpensive way to do that. So like their 7-channel amp is normally 650. You're basically saving $200 off of that. And I
Wow.
gotta say, I like the styling of these.
Yeah.
Um, you know, they're not the most powerful, so like depending on like what speakers you're gonna be, uh, putting or pairing this with, will kind of dictate. Okay, is this even gonna be worth it? You know,
Mhm.
I can't answer that question for you. But like everybody's like, well, I have this. It's like I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, definitely look at, if you're in the market for this. Again, none of this is affiliate uh sales or anything like that. I mean, I wouldn't probably use a 90 watt stereo amplifier for, powering a subwoofer. That's not really what
True.
it's designed for, but yeah. So moving on, we have if you're kind of looking at this already, Sweetwater currently has the Sony Bravia Theater Quad home theater speaker system for around $2,000, so $500 off the retail price.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, wait a minute. Wait,
what?
2 grand. Isn't that what it normally is? Hold
I have
on,
no
it's not
idea. I have no idea. I just found this and it said sale, and I'm like, I don't do research.
good.
What?
Oh. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Yep, that's right.
Is it normally 2,000?
No, it's normally 2,500. Yeah.
Okay. But if you want to spend 2,500, you can make it a bundle with the subwoofer, which is not on sale. I don't know what that's normally like the price of that is, but
It's normally like 700.
for the sub,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah, that is wild. I mean, you're paying for what? I mean, I'm sure if we looked at Sonos stuff, that
Mm,
that stuff would be up there too.
yeah, true.
So, but yeah, so if you're looking at that, cool. If you wanted something like this, these look weird though. I wonder how they sound though.
I mean, they're pretty good.
Yeah,
Although they just suffer from soundbar syndrome, meaning
yeah,
they're just drivers that are so small that they just have this particular sound to them, and they are wireless, so they also have a particular sound that makes them sound like a subwoofer.
yeah.
Uh, but even then, when I reviewed the Theater Quad, it was still one of the best wireless systems out there, especially because of their 360 spatial sound mapping.
Mm,
So I would still recommend it. The Samsung Q990D is another flagship wireless soundbar system that I would recommend that also comes with surround speakers and a subwoofer as well. So, um, but yeah, that's and yeah, like as you were saying, like a Sonos Arc Ultra paired with the Era 300s as your surrounds, and then the Sonos Sub. I would recommend that too. That's pretty much the only three wireless. I mean, I get it that a lot of people
yeah,
want to at least have something better than TV speakers. So go for it. If it's
yeah,
if it's a fairly cheap soundbar, great. It's still going to be better than your TV speakers. So
yeah,
if you're looking to upgrade your home theater at all this holiday season, please get a soundbar at least. But if you really want to get the best bang for your buck with a soundbar system, with the convenience of a soundbar system or wireless system, where all you got to do is plug it into your HDMI eARC port on your TV, then yeah, Sony Bravia Theater Quad, Samsung Q990D, or Sonos Arc Ultra with Era 300s and Sonos Sub.
yeah,
Because the other nice thing about the Sonos one is that it's also integrated easily into an entire whole home Sonos system. So if you have any other Sonos speakers throughout your house in bedrooms or whatever, your home theater system can be a part of that very easily with the Sonos app. So
yeah. And
that's one advantage that it has over all the other systems that I just
yeah,
rattled off.
I don't think that you're gonna find, since the Sonos Arc Ultra is relatively new. I don't think you're gonna find it on sale. For
Yeah,
this, like, yeah,
exactly.
it's just kind of hard to gauge that.
But the Sonos Arc, the original Arc is still is still pretty good.
Yeah,
Um, I mean,
I don't
I
have
I
any experience
don't
with that, so
really
like,
yeah, me neither. I don't really have, like I can't, like, list off what the Arc Ultra has in
mhm,
comparison to the original Arc, or how much better it actually is, but I imagine it's gotta be somewhat better.
yeah,
That's why they
yeah.
came out with it and slapped the name Ultra on it. So,
So
yeah, if you
yeah,
want
I mean,
latest and greatest, go ahead.
right. Exactly. I want to include things like this for people that are out there looking at it anyway,
Yeah.
just in case.
Heck yeah, dude.
I'm not a soundbar fan myself, but they have a purpose, and
Mhm.
we have one in our living room. So
Yeah,
um, this
exactly.
this still probably wouldn't be very cat friendly. So I'm not going to go with that. But moving
Yeah.
on, if you're looking at a new receiver, other than what Elon was
Here, wait.
talking about,
Actually, before you move on to receivers,
no.
sticking with sticking with speakers, let me share this. Uh, boom. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, Emotiva.
Yeah, if you want some budget speakers, because like we were saying, the folded ribbon AMT style tweeter, if you're really into that type of sound, just the sparkle and sheen that it adds without being fatiguing, Emotiva offers that type of, I mean, as you can see just in this picture, they offer that type of tweeter. The horizontal dispersion and vertical dispersion are also very excellent with this style of tweeter. So it's another reason I recommend it. Dialogue just sounds absolutely superb and crisp with
Yeah.
this style tweeter. And yeah, they're having their 20% off deal going on right now. Um, let's see. Yeah, and they even offer Atmos style speakers that are like this, where they're a wedge shape, so they're angled down towards you. They've got bookshelves, plenty of center channels to choose from. I mean, you can even get this big old behemoth here, the Air Motive XC3 center channel for $900.
Wow.
Woo. But then again, I mean, these are all the regular prices, but
So take
obviously,
20% off that.
yeah, take 20% off
Nice.
that.
Nice.
And they've got towers galore to choose from: XT1, XT2, XT3. And of course, since it's Emotiva, you've got your basics amplifiers, which
Mm.
are still one of the most budget friendly external amps for home theater you can buy. There
I mean, look at
really
that
isn't.
11 channel amp, even without the discount. I don't know if you can get a discount on
Yeah.
top of the sale price for like
I
the,
I don't know. That's a good question. Well, because it says it's a new price. It doesn't
oh,
say it's a sale price, so I imagine, yeah, that
yeah.
12.99 you would still get 20% off,
Yeah.
I would
So that's
imagine.
it's at least 200 and can't do math right now. It's at least $200 off.
Yeah. But the only hey, how do I skip to the other pages? Oh, there it is. The only thing to take into consideration, I think this is still the case. Um, because from what I remember with previous 11 channel Emotiva amplifiers, they weren't all the same output power rating.
Hmm.
Like
So
they would have like seven that were normal or like high
yeah,
power, and
and then
then
four that were
four
for like maybe
that
your
were,
height channels or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But taking a look at this, actually, I don't think that's the case anymore. I think they got rid of that. Because before, even the back, that's why I was taking a look at the back. The back
Yeah.
would even look different. Like the
Mm.
7 that were
Yeah.
high power had a certain look to them, and then the 4 that were not high power had a
Well, they do
different look to
separate
them.
them. So I wonder
Yeah.
if you go back down, I thought I said something about 7 channels driven somewhere in there. Uh,
Audio specifications.
yeah, see where it says power output, like right there, the 200 watt. Yeah, I'm not sure.
into forums. Oh, power up at 7 channels driven. Oh, well, it's at least giving you the difference. So instead of
Right.
giving you
Right.
just 2 channels driven, like a lot of receivers will do when
Hmm.
you're looking at the specs, I do appreciate that they at least tell you what the power output will be for 7 channels.
Yeah.
Now, does it tell us all 11 channels? No, it doesn't.
Boo.
In twisting. Anywho. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, just another budget friendly thing to look into if you're really into the AMT style tweeters, because the all of the budget friendly stuff that we've talked about up until now, I mean, Aperion audio aren't ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
I'd say
Especially for
they're
what
kind
you
of
get.
middle
Like,
ground.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But if
Okay.
you're on a more
Anyway.
if you I think with Aperion 2, if you want a more traditional style speaker than like a kind of theater monitor kind of look, then yeah,
Mhm,
then they're probably like the theatrics are probably not the one for you. You like you're not gonna go with those, you know.
mhm.
Um, and like then I would say, okay, check out Emotiva because they have a more traditional look to them, right? Like they
Yes.
have center channels. Like the thing with theatrics is there's no center channel dedicated speaker. It's like an LCR configuration, so
Mhm.
you're not going to like have like a long horizontal like speaker. You're gonna have like the same speaker that's your basically your left and right front,
Yeah.
which some people can't accommodate, which is
Right.
understandable.
Mhm.
Real quick, we'll kind of run through the rest of them that I had here real quick.
Yeah.
If you're looking for an X 3800H, a Denon X 3800H, you can get these from Crutchfield for 1275. So normally 1700. It's 1275 right now from Crutchfield as well as Walmart. So you
Yay.
can go there if you want to shop at Walmart. Go for it.
And even
Great.
at $1,600 or $1,699,
That's a that,
3800H is still one of the best values
yep.
because it supports external amps because it's got a
Yep.
full set of preouts.
It's HDMI 2.1 on
Yeah.
all inputs, which is
Um, it's got IMAX enhanced, DTSX, Dolby
mhm.
Atmos, and
Then you can get the
uh,
Dirac update or the like you
yes.
can pay for the Dirac uh upgrade or you can stick with Odyssey that's I think on it
And with the
built in.
previous version, with the 3700, it did not. I don't think it supported RO3D if that is
Mm,
something that you're into, but now they offer it in the 3800. Because I
yep.
think it was the 4800, that's when they started offering RO3D for whatever reason,
Yeah.
or 4700. I don't know why they didn't include it in the 37, but
Yeah. Also you
I
get
c-
four
I could be wrong
individual
about that.
sorry, I mean
Yeah, no, you're right. 4 individual subwoofers.
yep. So like and they're each independently controlled, which is awesome. So you
Mhm.
may not need a mini DSP with this.
Yeah,
However,
exactly.
do keep in mind that this is a 9.4 channel receiver. However, the pre-outs do support 11 channels,
Mhm.
but it will only amplify 9. So if you have an 11 channel system without an external amp, you're going to need to probably get an external amp because you're not going to be able to power all 11 from
Yep.
this receiver.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. So yeah, also if you're looking at an Onkyo RZ50, you can
Mhm.
currently get that for under $1,000 from crutchfield.com. Normally it's 1,600. This is a one of the highly sought after Onkyo receivers that
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of stuff on here.
Yeah. Now they have the RZ30,
Mhm.
which
Yep.
is because it's new, it's like $1,200.
Yeah.
And
So
the RZ50 is pretty much has the same exact stuff.
yep.
So,
So I think it comes with Dirac Live built in. It doesn't have Odyssey.
Correct.
So it's also IMAX enhanced. I don't know if it supports Oro.
It does not.
Okay, so if that's important to you, then maybe look at it. Look at something else.
Yeah.
Um, but it does look
Usually Denon and Marantz are the only
yeah,
like notoriously RO friendly
yeah.
receivers out there.
But it does look like they have all HDMI 2.1 inputs, which is important if you're into gaming.
Mhm.
Which I do have some gaming stuff that I want to talk about here momentarily. Again, though, like the 3800H, like we talked about before, this is a 9-channel receiver. So you will does it have? So it's only two sub outs, but it
Yes,
will actually support 11-channel output
correct.
for wait, does it?
It does. I was actually
Oh, height
looking into
2. Oh, here we go. It's under zone 3. Okay. So yeah, it will output 11 to the pre-outs, but it will only amplify 9. So just keep that in mind.
yeah.
Let's see what else we got. I don't think any of this. Oh, these are just some gaming deals I found real quick. We're moving on to gaming real quick. So yeah, just check these out. This is through The Verge. I have no affiliation with them, but if you have a console and are into Alan Wake, Alan Wake 2 Deluxe Edition, which includes the season pass, is $40. I loved Alan Wake 2. I played through all of it on the main game and the DLC on PC.
Mm.
Really great game. Also, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is $50. Rarely goes on sale because
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Right.
There's just a lot of gaming sales here. Elden Ring for $20, which if you're into that kind of maniacal difficulty challenge, whatever, go for it, man. Last of Us Part 1 on PS5 on sale for $30, which if you never played that. Star Wars Outlaws. I've actually been playing through Star Wars Outlaws. I got about 20 hours into that.
Mm.
$50 at Best Buy and Amazon right now. For the
Nice.
console versions. You can find it for about $30 on PC if go to like cdkeys.com. I really enjoy the game. I think it got critically lambasted for no real good reason other than it being
Oh,
a little
yeah.
different, and there's no lightsabers or anything. You kind of play like a Han Solo outlaw type.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah.
so like you got a blaster and stuff, and
Yeah.
is it perfect? No, but I don't know. I really like the kind of open world that they've created there.
Mhm.
Also, one of the best platformers I've ever played in recent years, Astrobot, is currently $50 off. So yeah, it's normally $60, but really really fun. And also Cyberpunk 2077 is $40 for the Ultimate Edition, which includes Phantom Liberty. So if you've never played that, definitely check it out. Moving on to hardware real quick. If you're into PC gaming at all, I just want to highlight a couple of things. This is, it wouldn't be home theater gamer without the gaming aspect. So, so I currently have a 4070 Super. I love the graphics card. It's actually a pretty capable 4K gaming card if you don't mind using something like DLSS or like upscaling and like frame generation. Like Star Wars Outlaws, I'm getting around 100 frames per second with
Whoa.
this at 4K using DLSS performance mode and frame generation. So
Mm.
really, really great. One of the best investments I've made. Um, and yeah, $580. I think I paid $699 or $599 for my card when it came out,
Mhm.
or $609 or something like that when it first came out. So great price there. I think it might. I haven't really looked at this. It might come with a free game. It might not. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they're
Dang.
running a special. Um,
Yeah.
if you wanted to go up one notch to the 4070 Ti Super, you could spend
Ooh.
740. I would maybe hesitate here just because the 5000 series is coming out next year. So
Oh.
yeah. But
And, 12% off. That's
yeah,
really
it's not
not that
crazy,
great.
but it basically it's $100 off from the normal $840. So if you're already looking at it and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a little too expensive, bringing it under that $750 mark is crazy. On
Mhm.
the AMD side, I actually purchased one of the, or my brother-in-law purchased one of these for one of his PC builds based on my recommendation, and it has not let him down. Again, it's a great 4K card. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is definitely beneficial for gaming in 4K.
Yeah.
But because it's an AMD card, you do lose out on like DLSS, but you can use FSR and all that stuff. So if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, I don't know. I just wanted to throw it out there. If you're in the market for a graphics card upgrade, like maybe your old NVIDIA card or AMD card, or God, if you're that old, you're going ATI. It's time. It's time. I was going to include a bunch of other CPU stuff, but I just decided, nah, we're already getting two. Yeah, that would have been a much longer video. We're at an hour and a half. So I think that's going to wrap it up for the deals and, well, for this pre-recorded video. We said an hour and we went 30 minutes over, but we shared a lot.
You're welcome.
But yeah, enjoy.
You got to stay away from your family for an extra 35 minutes.
Yeah. So happy Thanksgiving again, everyone. If you're not in a food coma yet, you will be soon. If you watch this, I want to know, this is not related to anything that we talked about here. What is your least favorite Thanksgiving dish? Let me know down in the comments.
Yeah.
Elon, what would yours be? If you had a least favorite Thanksgiving dish. Or side or anything, like you're like, I really hate that.
Kind of creamed corn, especially if it's too sweet,
Yeah,
you gotta strike a good balance. But even then, it's like,
yes.
Just I don't know, the whole idea and texture behind cream corn. It's like, I don't know. I either want to feel the kernels crunching or, between my teeth or just, yeah. It's a texture thing, I guess.
Yeah. Well, let's flip it around. So what's your favorite? And in the comments below, let me know your least favorite and your favorite. Do you have a favorite? You're like, I can't wait.
Here's the thing. As I've aged, I've become less tolerant to dairy. So I just don't have dairy that much anymore. But man, I loved a good scallop potato.
Oh, yeah.
And like au gratin potatoes. Oh,
yes.
That was my all-time favorite. Some days I'll just say, screw it, and I'll have it anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, as just like a nice, good, solid side dish.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing better than scalloped or au gratin potatoes.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yum.
I'll say anything. My least favorite, kind of anything green bean related. Just steamed green beans or green bean casserole, or just not really into that.
Yeah.
Favorite thing, deviled eggs. I'm always I can't get enough of them. Give me the plate, give me the whole tray, whatever.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll get sick. I don't care. It's just like get me away from them, because I'm going to eat all of them.
Yeah.
Especially
because they're just so easy.
Right. And like you get like a little paprika on top of it and a little, oh man, it's just, I'm looking forward to that. That's like my favorite thing I always look forward to, because it's so easy and simple. Yeah. Obviously I like the turkey and the stuffing and all that stuff. Mashed potatoes or like the scallop potatoes are so good. When they're done right. If they're too soggy though, they're not, they're kind of like, it's like you said, it's a texture thing.
Yeah.
I'm we're recording this the Monday before, so hopefully we'll get all that stuff, and hopefully you're eating some good food too. Thank you for not you, the viewer. Come on, man. No.
Yeah.
Oh, he was agreeing. See, I'm very standoffish today because it's Thanksgiving. No. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully we gave you a bit of a reprieve, a respite from your family gatherings. Hopefully, you're talking about all the fun things like politics and religion and, transgender bathrooms and all that stuff. So, things that you talk about, and then your uncle's off in the corner drunk on eggnog or whatever, talking about conspiracy theories of
Yeah.
things. So yeah. Anyway, happy holidays, everyone. We'll be back
Yes.
hopefully next week with a live stream of some sort. And yeah, I think that's gonna
Keep
do it.
on keeping
Keep on
on,
keeping on.
folks.
That's it. Keep on keeping on. Sam Porter Bridges. It's a Death Stranding quote. So yeah, until next time, we will hope you have a good one, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah. Get
See you.
stuffed.
Get stuffed with stuffing. And stay tuned for Elin's little outro music.
I hope everyone gets a lot of food in their belly because it's Thanksgiving. Or maybe you already had your meal and now you're stuffed and you're gonna pass out from the trip